All right, so today we're diving into e-commerce operations.
Ooh.
And, we've talked about it before, but things are really changing fast in this space.
Yeah, it's a whole new ball game.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what we're going to unpack today is this big shift that's happening from reactive management to something way more efficient.
Proactive management.
Exactly. Proactive management. And I've got Tracy here with me. She's a total whiz when it comes to all things e-commerce and customer experience.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
So, Tracy, I think we can all relate to this. You order something online,
Uh-huh.
and then the waiting game
Oh,
begins.
yeah. Tell me about it.
You're hoping it shows up on time, no problems, no damage, but
But that's not always the case.
so often it's not. And the research actually backs this up.
Oh, for sure. One study found that a crazy number of online shoppers, like 1 in 5, complained about not getting their orders on time last year.
1 in 5.
That's wild. And that's got to be costing businesses a fortune, not just in lost sales, but
Yeah, but think about the hit to customer relationships.
yeah,
Exactly. It's like
yeah,
they're constantly putting out fires instead of, preventing them.
totally. And the data actually breaks down just how much time businesses are wasting on this reactive stuff. They're spending a third of their team's workdays just reacting to problems that have already happened.
A third of their workdays.
It's crazy, right?
That's a huge chunk of time and resources. So what's the alternative? How can e-commerce businesses escape this reactive cycle?
That's where things get really interesting because we're seeing a major shift towards this thing called proactive management. And there's a platform that's leading the way.
Okay, tell me more.
It's called Keeyu.
Keeyu.
Yeah, and what they do is pretty amazing. They give businesses this centralized, real-time view of their entire e-commerce operation.
It's like instead of having information scattered all over the place, they have everything in one spot.
Exactly. One single source of truth. And because KU can see everything that's going on, it can actually flag potential problems
Before they even happen.
before they even become customer-facing issues.
That's incredible. So it's like having an early warning system for your e-commerce operations.
You got it.
Okay. I'm starting to see the potential here. Can you give us a real-world example of how this works in practice?
Absolutely. There's this case study in our research about a mid-sized apparel brand. They were drowning in reactive management chaos.
I can imagine apparel, especially with so many different sizes and styles and fulfillment channels. It's got to be a logistical nightmare.
It was a total nightmare. Orders were getting lost, deliveries were delayed, customers were understandably frustrated.
So how did Keeyu help them turn things around?
Well, once they implemented Keeyu, it connected all their systems. They had a bunch of different platforms and started providing these real-time alerts
Alerts for what kind of things?
for things like potential stockouts, fulfillment delays, even payment issues, things that could really cause problems down the line.
So they were able to spot these issues before they became big headaches for their customers.
Exactly. And because they were able to address these things proactively before the customer even knew there was a problem, they saw some incredible results.
Okay, let's hear it. What kind of results are we talking about?
Well, their customer retention went up by 9%, which is huge.
9%. That's a lot of saved customers.
And their resolution time for issues went down by 40%, so they were able to fix things much faster.
That's got to make everyone happier, both the customers and the team.
Totally. And the best part, they saw a 90% reduction in customer complaints.
90%. That's almost unheard of.
It's amazing, right?
So by simply shifting to this proactive approach, they were able to keep almost all of their customers happy.
That's right. And happy customers are loyal customers. And loyal customers spend more money.
It's a beautiful cycle.
Listen,
So I bet their bottom line was pretty happy about this whole situation too.
you bet. Remember we were talking about lost customer lifetime value? Well, Keeyu helped this brand recover a significant chunk of that lost revenue.
So they're not just saving money by being more efficient, they're actually making more money.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
Okay, so what makes Keeyu so special? How does it actually work?
Well, they have a whole bunch of cool features, but one of the most popular is their unified order tracking dashboard.
Okay, a unified order tracking dashboard. What's that?
It's like mission control for your orders. You can see the status of every single order all in one place.
So no more jumping between different tabs and systems trying to figure out where everything is.
Exactly. It's all right there in front of you.
Okay, I'm liking this already. What else do they have?
They also have this amazing all systems search functionality.
All system search. What does that mean?
It means you can literally type in a single order number and Keeyu will pull up updates from all your connected systems.
Like magic.
Pretty much. It's incredibly efficient.
Okay, that's impressive. But I'm guessing Keeyu does more than just track orders, right?
Oh yeah, they have a whole suite of features designed to make your life easier.
Yeah.
One cool one is their FIFO tracker, first in, first out.
FIFO, oh yeah, that's
Oh.
crucial for making sure you're shipping out the oldest inventory first.
Exactly. Keeyu helps you keep everything organized and moving smoothly.
And they have a returns tracker too, right?
Of course, returns are a huge pain point for e-commerce businesses, but Keeyu makes the whole process much easier to manage.
So they've got all the bases covered?
Pretty much. And the best part is that Keeyu also tracks your issue rate and the potential impact on customer lifetime value. So you can actually see how your operational efficiency is directly affecting your bottom line.
That's brilliant. So it's like having a real-time gauge on the health of your e-commerce operations.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've established that Keyu is pretty awesome, but what about the businesses that are still stuck in that reactive mindset?
Right, we've got to talk about the risks of not making the shift.
Okay, let's talk about risks. What can happen if you ignore this whole proactive management thing,
Well, for starters, you risk losing customers.
which means losing revenue,
Exactly. And it can be hard to win those customers back once they've had a bad experience.
especially in today's world where there are so many options available to consumers.
Totally. You also risk higher operational costs because you're constantly putting out fires instead of preventing them.
And that can really eat into your profits.
Not to mention the stress it puts on your team.
Nobody wants to work in a constant state of chaos and emergency.
Right. It's not sustainable.
So the message is clear. Proactive management is the future of e-commerce. And Keyu is the key to unlocking that future.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for those businesses out there that are still on the fence about making this switch, what's the one thing they should remember?
The cost of not having a solution like Keeyu is far greater than the cost of implementing it.
It's an investment in the long-term health and success of your business.
Exactly. And it's an investment that pays off in a big way.
Well said. All right, let's take a quick pause here, and then we'll come back and dive deeper into Keyu's features and how they specifically address those common e-commerce pain points.
Sounds good to me. Okay, so we're all about proactive management.
Right, we've established that.
But how do we actually make it happen? Like, what are the practical steps businesses can take?
That's the million-dollar question. Because it's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing entirely to put it into practice.
Totally. And luckily, our research actually lays out some pretty clear best practices.
Perfect. Let's hear them. What's step one?
Step one, invest in the right tools.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
You can't build a house without a hammer.
exactly. You need the right technology to transform your operations.
And when it comes to e-commerce operations, the right tool
Yeah,
is
centralized platform.
one that gives you that real-time visibility and those proactive alerts.
Yep. And you know what fits the bill perfectly?
Keyu.
Keeyu.
So it's not just a software solution. It's like a partner in this whole proactive management journey.
That's a great way to put it. Keeyu integrates with everything you already have, so you get that single view of your operation, and then it flags those potential problems before they turn into major disasters.
Okay, but technology is only part of the equation, right?
Right. You also need to train your teams.
On how to use the new tools.
And on why it's so important. Because you can have the best tech in the world, but if your team doesn't understand it or believe in it, it's not going to do much good.
So it's about education and empowerment.
Exactly. They need to understand the benefits of proactive management, both for the business and for themselves.
Right. Like imagine dealing with way fewer customer complaints.
And spending less time putting out fires.
It's a win-win.
Totally. And when your team feels empowered, they're going to be happier and more productive.
Okay, so we've got the tools. We've trained the team. What's next?
Next, you need clear processes
For what?
for escalating and resolving those issues that Keeyu flags.
So everyone knows exactly what to do when those alerts start popping up.
Yep. No more running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
Right. Clear roles, responsibilities, communication channels.
It's like having a playbook for dealing with potential problems before they spiral out of control.
And just like with any playbook, you need to practice and refine it over time.
Absolutely.
Right.
All right, what's next?
Let me guess, data.
You got it. You need to constantly monitor your key metrics.
So track your progress. Identify areas for improvement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to keep a close eye on those order fulfillment rates, those resolution times, those customer feedback scores.
It's like checking the vital signs of your e-commerce operation.
That's a great analogy.
And by tracking those metrics, you can see what's working, what's not, and make adjustments along the way.
It's all about continuous improvement.
Okay, last but not least,
Create a proactive culture,
across the entire organization.
not just in operations or customer service.
This is about getting everyone on board.
Exactly. From the CEO down to the interns.
Everyone thinking proactively, looking for potential problems.
It's a big shift, but the payoff is huge.
I bet it takes time and effort to create that kind of cultural change.
It does. But it starts with leadership. They have to set the tone from the top.
Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate and reward those employees who take initiatives.
Right, reinforce those positive behaviors.
When you have a culture where everyone's eyes are open and they're looking for ways to prevent problems, amazing things can happen.
Okay, so we've covered the why. Now let's talk about the how. How does Keeyu actually do all this magical stuff?
It's not magic, it's technology.
Okay, fair enough. But what are the key features that make it so powerful?
Well, Keeyu has this whole suite of features designed to streamline operations and prevent problems and enhance the customer experience.
Like a Swiss Army knife for e-commerce.
Exactly.
Give me some highlights. What are the features that would make someone listening to this right now say, I need that?
Okay, well, one of the most popular features and one that solves a huge pain point is the Unified Order Tracking Dashboard.
Okay, the Unified Order Tracking Dashboard. We talked about that before. Remind me what it is.
It's a command center for your orders.
Okay.
You can see the status of every single order all in one place.
From the moment it's placed to the moment it's delivered.
Exactly. No more jumping between different systems and spreadsheets.
It's got to save a ton of time.
And it reduces errors because everyone's working from the same information.
Okay, what else?
Another game changer is the all system search.
All system search? Fill me in.
Let's say a customer calls about their order.
Okay.
You type their order number into Keeyu and boom,
You see everything.
updates from all your systems all in one place.
No more putting the customer on hold while you scramble to find information.
Exactly. It's a much smoother experience for everyone.
Okay, so we've got order tracking covered.
Mhm.
What about those proactive features, the ones that help prevent problems before they happen?
Well, there's the FIFO tracker.
First in, first out?
Yep. It makes sure orders are processed in the right sequence.
So you're always shipping out the oldest inventory first.
Exactly. No mix-ups, no delays.
Okay, this is sounding better and better.
What else?
And then there's the returns tracker?
Returns. Ah, yes, the bane of every e-commerce business's existence.
Keeyu makes returns so much easier to manage.
How so?
It gives you a centralized view of all your returns so you can see exactly where each one is in the process, from initiation to completion.
Exactly. No more lost returns, no more confused customers.
So Keeyu streamlines the entire returns process.
Makes it faster, more efficient, less stressful.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the benefits for businesses, but what about the customers? How does Keeyu improve their experience?
That's a great question.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about the customer, right?
It is. And all of Keeyu's features are designed with the customer in mind.
To create that seamless, enjoyable experience.
That makes them want to come back for more.
So how does Keeyu do that?
Well, first of all, it helps make sure customers get what they want when they want it.
By preventing those delays and stockouts and other issues?
Exactly. No more waiting around wondering if your order is going to show up.
So less stress, more happy customers.
And happy customers are loyal customers.
But it's not just about timely deliveries. It's also about transparency.
Transparency. Tell me more.
Keeyu keeps customers in the loop with real-time updates.
On their order status.
Exactly. They can track their package every step of the way.
No more wondering where it is or when it's going to arrive.
And that peace of mind makes a big difference.
It does. And what about returns from the customer's perspective?
Keeyu makes it super easy to initiate a return, track its progress, and get your refund quickly.
So no more jumping through hoops or waiting weeks for your money back?
Exactly.
It sounds like Keeyu really does deliver on its promise.
It does. And the results speak for themselves. Remember that apparel brand we talked about?
The one that was drowning in customer complaints?
That's the one. Well, after they implemented Keeyu, they saw a 9% boost in customer retention.
Wow.
Their resolution time for issues went down by 40%.
Incredible.
And they saw a 90% reduction in customer complaints.
It's amazing.
And of course, all of that translated into a big boost in profitability.
So they're saving money, they're making money, and they're keeping their customers happy.
It's the trifecta of e-commerce success.
So for those businesses out there that are still on the fence, what would you say to convince them?
I would say the cost of not having a solution like Keeyu is far greater than the cost of implementing it.
What do you mean by that?
Think about all the costs associated with reactive management.
Dealing with complaints, processing returns, losing customers.
Damaging your reputation,
It all adds up.
and it can really hurt your bottom line.
Not to mention the stress it puts on your team.
By investing in Keeyu, you're investing in the long-term health and success of your business.
It's a smart move.
It's about shifting your mindset from damage control to prevention and growth.
From being reactive to being proactive.
It's about taking control.
So what's the bottom line here? What's the one key message?
Proactive management is the future of e-commerce.
And Keeyu is the key to unlocking that future.
It's about happy customers, efficient operations, and sustainable growth.
And it all starts with reaching out to Keeyu.
To learn more about how they can transform your business.
But there's one thing we haven't really talked about yet.
What's that?
It's this idea of the reactive trap.
Oh yeah, the reactive trap. That really stood out to me too.
It's this vicious cycle that can be really hard to break free from.
You're constantly putting out fires. You're always one step behind.
You're never really in control.
So how do we help our listeners understand what this trap really is?
And how do they use Keeyu to escape it?
That's a great question. And I think it's the perfect segue into the final part of our deep dive.
Where we'll explore the reactive trap in more detail.
And discuss how Keeyu provides that escape route.
Stay tuned. Okay, so the reactive trap.
Yeah, we touched on it earlier.
It's a real thing, and a lot of businesses get stuck there.
They might not even realize it.
Right. So what is it? It's this cycle of constantly putting out fires in your operations.
You're always reacting to problems after they've already happened.
You're always one step behind playing catch up,
Always on the defense.
instead of being proactive and preventing those fires in the first place.
And that reactive approach leads to all sorts of problems.
Oh, yeah. Decreased customer satisfaction, increased churn.
Higher operational cost.
Not to mention the impact on your team.
Right. It's got to be demoralizing to always feel like you're fighting an uphill battle.
Totally. It drains your energy and prevents you from focusing on those big picture things that can really help your business grow.
So let's talk about solutions.
Yeah.
How does Keeyu help businesses escape this trap?
It gives you the tools and the insights to shift your mindset.
From reactive to proactive.
It's not just about having a platform. It's about changing the way you think about your whole operation
It's about empowering businesses to anticipate problems and prevent them,
before they even impact the customer.
like having a crystal ball.
Exactly. And Keeyu is always learning and evolving, so it actually gets better at predicting problems over time,
So it's like having a proactive partner working behind the scenes.
keeping everything running smoothly.
That peace of mind has got to be worth its weight in gold.
It is.
Okay, so Keeyu helps businesses avoid the reactive trap. But what about the bigger picture? What are the long-term implications of this shift for the entire e-commerce industry?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think we're going to see some pretty big changes.
Like that.
Well, for one, I think we're going to see much happier customers,
Because businesses are finally delivering on their promises.
providing that seamless experience.
No more late deliveries, no more lost packages.
A little more headaches,
And happy customers are loyal customers.
which means more revenue for businesses.
It's a virtuous cycle.
And I think we'll also see a shift in the competitive landscape.
Businesses that embrace proactive management will have a big advantage,
They'll be the ones thriving.
while those who cling to those old reactive ways,
They'll be struggling to keep up,
it's like the early adopters of any new technology.
the ones who get ahead of the curve.
So the message is clear. Proactive management is the future of e-commerce.
And Keeyu is the key.
All right, we've talked about Keeyu, we've talked about the reactive trap, but I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay, shoot.
What's the cost of not taking action?
Ooh, that's a good one.
How many customer complaints can you afford to handle? How much revenue are you willing to lose? How much time and energy are you wasting?
It's time to stop putting out fires.
And start preventing them.
Keeyu can help.
It's time to take control of your operations, delight your customers, and unlock the full potential of your e-commerce business. Thanks for joining us today.
And remember, reach out to Keeyu to learn more.
It's the smartest move you can make.